Thank you so much for your overwhelming response to my previous videos on NISM Series 23 related to Social Auditor Certification Examination. In this particular video, which is on Chapter 3, which is Social Stock Exchange, Introduction, Funding, Structures and Instruments, I am going to take you through some questions which are in form of true or false. Please note that in the examination you may get in some questions two statements or three statements, and you may be asked to select which one or more than one out of those statements which have been shared with you in a question are true or false. That is why it becomes important also to evaluate yourself from a true or false perspective. So in this video, I have designed more than 15 questions purely on true or false basis. So let me take you through these questions one by one. So here is the first question. The social outcome must be the first and the primary objective of all social enterprises that plan to list their securities on social stock exchange. Is this statement true or false? So this statement is actually false. It is not social outcome, while the right answer is that it is social intent. Okay, so if you get a statement like this, then you should be kind of mindful of the fact that it is social intent and not the social outcome. Let us move to question number 2, which is trading member, non-profit organization, for-profit enterprises and market infrastructure institutions are some of the key stakeholders of stock exchange. So is this statement true or false? The statement is true, but you must note down that there are other stakeholders also, like social auditors, information repositories, regulators and investors. So if you remember all these entities which are kind of stakeholders of social stock exchange, then any combination that you get as true or false from these entities, you will be able to attempt them successfully. Now we move on to third statement. SSE is a set of processes as much as it is a place. Now this is slightly tricky statement. Social stock exchange is definitely a place, but it is definitely also a process, and the statement is true. What does this mean? The book itself explains, but let me also tell you that this means that social stock exchange is not only a place where securities or other funding structures are listed, but it is a set of procedures also that act as a filter, selecting in only those entities that are creating measurable positive impact and reporting such impact. I hope you are liking this form of questions. Let me move on to question 4. Not-for-profit organizations may choose to merely register with SSE and not raise funds. Okay, so there is no requirement for an SEC to compulsorily raise fund, and that's why they register, right? So the answer for this is it is true. Okay, they can just decide to register and may not raise funds at all. The next statement, non-profit organizations include Section 8 companies, trust registered under Indian Trust Act 1982, partnership firm and societies registered under Societies Registration Act. Let me tell you that this is not a right statement because partnerships firms are not included in the scope of NPO, non-profit organization. We move on to the next part. All NPOs must be registered under Section 12A of Income Tax Act 1961. This is more of a fact. Okay, so the answer here is true. Please do remember this statement because this will help you probably to crack one question in the exam. The next one is all NPOs can extend tax deduction to its donors upon approval under Section 80G of Income Tax Act 1961. I mean, most of us would have otherwise also known about it. If you are a taxpayer and you have decided to save your tax, you could have given donations under Section 80G. So this statement is also true. we move on to the next question. Social auditors registration specifications are specified by SEBI. Now it's very tricky in terms of the statement itself, because social auditor registration should ideally be done by ICAI. But if you see the explanation in the book, it says that first of all, this statement is true, and as per SEBI ICDR regulations 2018, social auditor means an individual registered with a self-regulatory organization under Institute of Chartered Accountants of India or such other agency as may be specified by SEBI. So the specifications are coming from SEBI. Registration, is happening as far as social auditors are concerned. Those registrations are with ICAI, but a specification is given by SEBI. So we have to kind of look at this statement in slightly technical way. The next question is, Code of Conduct for Social Auditors focuses on aspects such as integrity, objectivity, confidentiality, professional behavior, professional competence, and due care, etc. So does it include all this? The answer for this is true, but we have to also remember that documentation, due diligence, and compliance are also part of this code of conduct. So if you remember all these all these aspects of code of conduct requirement, then answering this question will be easier for you. The next question is, Clearing Corporation of SEC will provide oversight and guidance to facilitate the smooth functioning of operations of social stock exchange with regard to registration, fundraising, and disclosures by social enterprises. This is not a true statement. This is a false statement. This will be done by Social Stock Exchange Governing Council. Please do read about the role of Social Stock Exchange Governing Council in Chapter 3 and list down their roles, because the role of the Social Stock Exchange Governing Council, because you may get questions related to this. The next one is that in pay for success structure, social capital comes from institutional investors. Okay, this is a false statement. It comes from philanthropic foundations or CSR spends or impact investors, not from institutional investors. The next one is, in pay for success through lending partner, which is one of the structures, an initial portion of funds from outcome funders can be held in escrow bound by intermediary to help make interest payments to lender. Now this various structures of funding also needs to be read by everybody desirous of writing this exam, but here this statement is true. Next statement is, as per SEBI ICDR regulations, NPOs shall issue ZC/ZP, which is zero coupon, zero principal instruments to public through a public issue only, right? Now this statement is unfortunately or factually incorrect. It can be issued to social impact funds registered under SEBI regulations through a private issue also. So it is not only one method which is mentioned in the statement above. The next statement is, minimum application size for ZC/ZP is 5 lakhs. Those of you who would have read the book by now will know that this is a false statement, because 2 lakhs is true. Next statement is, existing SIFs may invest 75% of their investable funds in securities of NPOs registered or listed on the stock exchange. Now this is about the existing SIFs, those who are in existence even before the SSE have come into existence. The newer one can invest up to 100%. So you need to check that out also. This statement is false, because the answer is 25%. The next question is, social impact funds issued by AIFs can invest 75% of their investable funds in unlisted securities or partnership interest of social ventures, or in units of social ventures, or in securities of social enterprises. This answer is true. So we have now come to the end of this video. I took you through around 15 to 16 true or false statement. Please do make list of such statements for each chapter, so that you will find it easy to crack this exam by knowing what is right, what is wrong, what is true, what is false. If you need any help or assistance, the email ID has been given below. But do not forget to like this video and subscribe to my channel. Thank you so much.